TV soap news and spoilers say that the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the tangled lives of the residents of Beyond the Gates on this fateful Thursday, September 11, 2025. The air was thick with secrets, heartbreak, and revelations that threatened to unravel the fragile threads holding this community together. If you missed today's electrifying episode, brace yourself for a roller coaster of emotions as we dive into the dramatic events that unfolded, painting a vivid picture of betrayal, love, and deception. This recap will pull you into the heart of the storm, where every choice carries the weight of destiny. Chelsea's heart-wrenching ordeal. Chelsea Monroe's world has been shattered, her once vibrant spirit dimmed by the horrors of her recent kidnapping. The young woman, barely out of her teens, sat alone in her dimly lit bedroom, the glow of her phone casting an eerie light across her tear-streaked face. Her fingers trembled as she scrolled through her social media feeds, each post a painful reminder of the life she once knew, a life where her carefully curated online persona made her a target. "Why me?" she whispered to herself, her voice breaking under the weight of self-blame. Chelsea's abduction wasn't just a physical captivity, it was a psychological siege that left her questioning her very existence. She replayed the events in her mind, the cold grip of her captors, the suffocating darkness of the room where she was held, and the chilling realization that her online presence, her selfies, her stories, her openness, had painted a bullseye on her back. But the true sting of betrayal came from Alison Dupree, her supposed friend, whose actions Chelsea now believes set this nightmare in motion. "I trusted her," Chelsea sobbed to her cousin Kat, who sat wide-eyed across from her, struggling to find words to comfort her shattered kin. The pain of this betrayal cut deeper than any physical wound, and Chelsea's heart ached with the realization that trust, once broken, might never be rebuilt. Yet, from this crucible of pain, Chelsea found herself at a crossroads. The trauma forced her to confront her vulnerabilities, but it also ignited a spark of resolve. In a moment that stunned Kat, Chelsea announced a decision that would alter the course of her life. "I'm done hiding," she declared, her voice trembling but resolute. "I'm leaving this town, Kat. I need to start over, somewhere no one knows my name." Kat's jaw dropped, her eyes wide with disbelief. Chelsea, the girl who once thrived on the spotlight, was choosing to vanish into anonymity. This bold move, born of desperation and courage, left Kat grappling with the reality that her cousin might never be the same again. As Chelsea packed a single suitcase, her resolve hardened, but the question lingered, could she outrun the ghosts of her past? Danny's confession and Vanessa's crossroads. Across town, in the cozy warmth of Vanessa McBride's living room, another drama unfolded, one that promised to ripple through the lives of those entangled in its web. Danny Harper, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and longing, sat across from Vanessa, her best friend and confidant. The air was heavy with unspoken truths as Danny prepared to lay bare her soul. "Vanessa," she began, her voice barely above a whisper, "I need to tell you something." What followed was a confession that would change everything. Danny was in love with Vanessa McBride. The words hung in the air like a storm cloud, charged with emotion. Danny's feelings for Vanessa had been a closely guarded secret, one she had wrestled with in the quiet moments of her life. But the recent chaos surrounding Chelsea's kidnapping had brought unexpected clarity. In the midst of the crisis, Danny had found solace in Bill Thornton, a steadfast presence who offered her strength when she felt most vulnerable. "It's been nice to lean on Bill," Danny admitted, her cheeks flushing. "He's been there for me, but it's you I can't stop thinking about." Vanessa's eyes widened, her breath catching in her throat. She had always seen Danny as a friend, a sister even, but this revelation cast their relationship in a new light. Torn between shock and curiosity, Vanessa's mind raced to Joey Armstrong, her own, tough guy, partner whose rugged charm mirrored Bill's in ways she hadn't noticed before. Danny's words echoed in her mind, drawing parallels between her budding feelings for Bill and Vanessa's own dynamic with Joey. Both men were strong, dependable, yet fiercely independent, qualities that now seemed to bind the two women's experiences in an unexpected way. As Vanessa processed Danny's confession, a flicker of doubt crept in. Danny's regret was palpable. She wondered if she had let her spark with Bill fade, allowing him to drift toward Haley Monroe, Chelsea's fiery sister. Vanessa, too, felt a pang of fear. Was she taking Joey for granted? The thought sent her running to him, her heart pounding as she sought to rekindle the passion that had once burned so brightly. "I won't lose you," she whispered to herself, determined to keep Joey's gaze fixed on her. But as she reached for him, a nagging question lingered. Could she balance her loyalty to Danny with the fire she felt for Joey, or would this triangle of emotions ignite a blaze none of them could control? Haley's breaking point. Meanwhile, Haley Monroe was a woman on the edge. Her relationship with Bill Thornton had been a roller coaster of hope and heartbreak, and tonight, she reached her limit. Bill's obsession with the Dupree family, his ex-wife's kin, had driven a wedge between them, and Haley could no longer ignore the sting of rejection. She stood in her kitchen, gripping the counter as memories flooded her mind. Bill's distracted glances, his endless excuses, the way he seemed to prioritize the Duprees over her at every turn. "I've seen it with my own eyes," she muttered, her voice trembling with rage. "He's still tied to them, and I'm done being second best." Haley wasn't one to wallow in self-pity. Her fiery spirit, a hallmark of the Monroe family, burned brighter than ever as she plotted her next move. She wasn't just fed up, she was ready to explode. In a moment of defiance, Haley grabbed her phone and typed a message to Bill, her fingers flying across the screen. "We're done. I deserve better than this." The words felt like a release, a declaration of independence from a man who couldn't see her worth. But as she hit send, a wave of uncertainty washed over her. Would Bill fight for her, or had she just burned a bridge she might one day regret? Haley's heart raced as she awaited his response, knowing that whatever came next would change her life forever. Derek's dangerous deception. In a quieter corner of town, Derek Sullivan was weaving a web of lies that threatened to ensnare him. Once confined to a wheelchair, Derek had spent months convincing those around him that he was paralyzed, his legs useless after a tragic accident. But tonight, in the privacy of his apartment, he stood tall, his legs trembling but functional. The truth was a secret he guarded fiercely, but it was a dangerous game. Each step he took in secret was a step closer to discovery, and the longer he lied, the greater the fallout would be. Ashley Monroe, Chelsea and Haley's cousin, had been Derek's rock, her compassion and unwavering support a lifeline during his supposed recovery. But as Derek moved in the shadows, testing his legs in secret, he knew he was betraying her trust. "She can't know yet," he whispered to himself, his heart heavy with guilt. But secrets like this had a way of surfacing, and Ashley's sharp intuition was already picking up on the inconsistencies in Derek's story. The longer he hid the truth, the angrier she would be when it finally came to light, and it would. Derek's deception was a ticking time bomb, and the explosion would rock their relationship to its core. As he paced his apartment, Derek's mind raced with justifications. He wasn't ready to face the world as a man who could walk again, not when pity had become his shield, his way of keeping people at arm's length. But Ashley's love deserved honesty, and the weight of his lie grew heavier with each passing day. Would he come clean before it was too late, or would his deception destroy the one relationship that meant everything to him? A town on the brink. As the clock struck midnight and beyond the gates, the town was a powder keg of emotions, each resident grappling with choices that would shape their futures. Chelsea's decision to flee was a bold leap into the unknown, a desperate bid to reclaim her life from the ashes of trauma. Danny's confession to Vanessa had set off a chain reaction, forcing both women to confront the complexities of love and loyalty. Haley's defiance signaled a new chapter, one where she refused to be overlooked, while Derek's lies threatened to unravel the fragile trust he had built with Ashley. These stories, interwoven with passion and pain, painted a vivid tapestry of a community at a crossroads. The events of September 11, 2025, were more than just moments in time. They were the sparks that could ignite a firestorm of change. As the residents of Beyond the Gates faced their fears, their desires, and their secrets, one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same again. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV soap news and spoilers for more updates on Beyond the Gates.